Good morning, space is awesome. It's always awesome, but you know that. So I'm Jeremy. Welcome to the Robert H. Goddard Planetarium in Roswell, New Mexico again. We haven't been in here in a while. Here's the dome, the glorious Chroma Cove lights going on. And if you've been in here before, you will recognize the 1968 Spitz Model A4 optical mechanical star projector. So this amazing piece of machinery is pretty much the same vintage technology that got us on the moon with Apollo 11. And we have maintained this wonderful piece that has done the star show for the kids in the community for decades. It has LED lights in it now, and just like you need to change the oil in your car or maintain, floorboards in your house, whatever, this thing needs a little bit of maintenance every year or two. And so I would like to introduce you to a friend of mine who is an amazing Starball technician. His name is Jason, and he's going to talk to you a bit about this fantastic piece. Jason, thanks.
Thank you, Jeremy. Hello everyone, my name is Jason. I work for Ash Enterprises, and we service mechanical star balls, as well as install other parts of the planetarium, such as the cove lights and sound systems and things like that. We renovated this machine in this planetarium a few years ago, and today I'm back for an annual maintenance. We have to maintain these systems because these, like Jeremy was saying, these are like old cars. They need their slip rings and gears grease and such. For this job, this time, I'll be paying particular attention to the greasing of the gears because they dry out occasionally, and as they get dirt inside the gears, that grease will dry out. So, also, as Jeremy said, we've retrofitted some things, some new technology to this machine. We've retrofitted some LEDs, particularly something that saved a lot of time for maintenance, and used to the star projector, the star ball here. Inside there's a lamp, and it need to be replaced about once every year. It's an arc lamp, or it used to be. Our company developed a LED star lamp, and now it should be good for, well, I'll probably retire before it needs to be replaced. As well as in the end of the projector over here, on this side, we have where the planets are projected from. I'll have to align and calibrate those as well while I'm here to get all the planets in the right spot so for your shows, they'll look exactly where they're supposed to be. They'll be astronomically accurate. So up here we have LEDs as well, so that way you don't have to worry about changing bulbs. If you change a bulb, it knocks the accuracy of the planet off. So the less bulbs you have to change, the more accurate throughout the year between maintenance visits, this projector will stay. Today I'll be taking, and top to bottom, I'll be dusting the entire machine. Over here on the Starball side, where the stars are projected, you'll see these little black dots. These are lenses, and each of those need to be cleaned. They're typically glass, some are plastic, but we'll need to go through and clean each of those to make sure that they project the stars without any fuzziness or anything, especially give that LED star lamp as good of a show as it possibly can. Inside the covers, which I'll be taking off today and taking most of the machine apart to get to the slip rings. When the machine moves, you can't just run wires from point to point because they would get wound up in the machine. To get past that, you have what's called slip rings. It's a metal disc with what's called a brush that attaches to that slip ring. So as it turns, it transfers that connection, that electrical connection, to the next axis. And each of those need to be cleaned every year. They're typically made of some sort of silver alloy and some carbon, and so that carbon will sometimes rub off on the slip rings. And that needs to be wiped off. If it's not wiped off, what happens is you'll get a bad connection, and that amperage will cause a spark, and the spark is called an arc. It'll arc between the connections, and it'll cause a little cavity to form. And as it goes past that point, it'll continually get worse and worse. That's what we're preventing with the maintenance each year to year. These machines, like Jeremy said, this machine is from the 60s. Most of the machines like this that I service are from the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And they'll last another 20 or 30 years as long as they're maintained. And the part of the machine that is most critical is those slip rings that transfers those connections. And if those are maintained and cleaned on a yearly to every couple of years basis, then this machine will continue running forever. It's a very well kept machine. It is fantastic shape. These machines will they're not like systems you buy today. If you buy a digital system today, you maybe get 6 to 8 years of use because the Achilles heel of the systems today are that they're on computers. And I'm a computer technician. But this machine here, even as a computer technician, I recognize that this machine will run in the planetarium for decades. It's a much better value as far as in the planetarium than any other object. It projects your planets, it projects your stars, and it's very, very reliable. And you can dial it to whatever time period you want to see, forward and backwards in years. It's a really nice machine. So I think that about concludes it. Jeremy?
Awesome, Jason.
Thank you for your time.
That was fascinating. Thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that made you want to go into mechanical, electrical engineering, computer science. That's really, really fun stuff. If you remember, we have digitized the dome and so operate on a Digistar 6 system most of the time. But there are still a lot of times where we bring up this fantastic star ball, and if you remember, it has various axes, A, B, and C axis, or X, Y, and Z, so it's very impressive when it's going. Come on in and see it in 2 weeks. I think we're projected to open up in about 2 weeks. I believe June the 1st, which is Tuesday, I'm scheduled to start regular programming. So excited about that. We'll have multiple shows, and as always, keep looking up. Bye-bye.